All right. Hello. How are you today? We have a different look here. All right. In the studio, we're trying some new stuff, and I am with Matteo Pellegrini. His company is the Orange Pill app. Okay. The Orange Pill app. There's an app for that. All right. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk about his mission of connecting Bitcoiners globally. Right? You think that's a small market. It's just Bitcoiners, right? How many Bitcoiners are there? Well, there's more and more Bitcoiners, and there's only going to be more Bitcoiners as we go, right? But is it really just Bitcoiners, or is it free thinking, sort of different people? Maybe a connections app for everyone else. There's a lot of stuff here. All right. So we're going to unpack that with our man, Matteo. How are you today?
Hey, Mike, thanks for the invite. Great pleasure to be with you. I'm doing great. Yesterday was my birthday, so I take a day off. Today I'm fresh like a rose.
All
And
right.
I
Well,
look forward to this chat with you.
he took the day off on his birthday, and for anyone who didn't see it, he got an invoice actually from Michael Saylor here. So that's funny. You checked out for one day, and then all of a
It's
sudden,
crazy.
Michael
I
Saylor
know.
sends you an invoice.
Yeah, I should check out for longer, I guess. We'll get somebody else.
Okay, so don't check out for too long because we're going to get into this very fast
Definitely.
right away. Okay, so forget about you and all that. We'll talk about it later. But what is the Orange Pill app?
Great question. So I give you two answers. From a very technical standpoint, it's a networking app for Bitcoiners, and we use the paywall to attract high signal Bitcoiners and the geolocation to connect them locally and the search engine to connect them globally. That's the technical description. A more philosophical description, what we're building is the pipeline for Bitcoin social layer.
Okay, so a pipeline for a Bitcoin social layer. Okay, and the thing that I found interesting that you told me was it's kind of like a social club. Okay, where if you're not in this club, if you don't have a membership, this is a paid platform.
Correct.
All right. So how does that work in terms of high signal and your goals here?
Right. So yeah, so I mean, I took that decision like very early on that this should not be a free app for a couple of reasons. Like, and now that I spent times and I spoke with a lot of users, I've learned so much more. But the initial reason was number one, I think the last thing a Bitcoin company should do is to monetize the user data. That's completely anti-Bitcoin. Number two, I wanted to create a unique experience. I wanted to create a unique place where you sign up, and because you have to pay, you know that everybody else that you're gonna meet in the app, it's high signal. So the paywall attract high signal Bitcoiners. And I have so many stories that justify that. And now and the third point was more from like a entrepreneurial point of view. I wanted to find out as quickly as possible if this app is really needed or not. And as you know, Mike, the fastest way to find out is to charge your users, because if they pay, that means they really want that product. And so that's the main point. That's the main reason why I launched this app. And from day one, everybody had to pay. Nobody gets in for free. Even my mother, she's in the app and she has to pay.
Okay, this is kind of interesting. This frequently asked questions on the website. Why should I pay to use this app? That's cool. All right, so you have a very interesting sort of payment plan here. Okay, you're denominating pricing in sats. Okay, you have a lifetime membership option, which is definitely unique. What's up with the pricing? How much does this cost to use right now?
Right. So when we launched, by the way, only 105 days ago at Bitcoin Pacific in Santa Monica. We only had a monthly membership for $199 and a yearly membership for $19.99. And immediately I found out we had two spammers in the app. So I raised from $199 to $299, and now we don't have any spammers anymore. So that's great. So you can do a monthly at $299, you can do a yearly at $19.99, and lifetime at $99.99. If you go to the app, if you want to buy a membership in Sats, which obviously is our preferred option for many, many reasons, you have to do it to the website because Apple and Google, they don't let you do this kind of stuff. So on the website, you can buy a membership in Sats, and we have a yearly for 100,000 Sats, a lifetime from 300,000 Sats, and GigaChat membership for 500,000 Sats. Now, why would you want to buy a GigaChat membership? Great question. In El Salvador, we give membership to everybody for free because we want to support the experiment. We want to support the bottom-up adoption, and also in certain countries, like $3 is actually a lot of money. So if you pay more, if you have a GigaChat membership, you basically subsidize all the membership in El Salvador.
So let's talk about the difference between geolocations. Because Bitcoiners are very concerned about their privacy, and the app does rely on a certain element of geolocation out of its nature. So what is up with that?
Right. So the goal, the goal of the app, really, Mike, is something that has to be unique, right? Otherwise, you can be on Twitter or Telegram or Meetup.com. And what we provide is the fastest, easiest way to find and meet other Bitcoiners nearby you. Of course, to do that, we need to know where you are. Otherwise, how do we connect you with nearby Bitcoiners? But since we don't deliver pizza, we don't need your precise location. We use approximate geolocation, which is basically like Apple and Google that divide them up in blocks of 10 miles radius. And then they tell us, okay, Mike is in this block. And then Jennifer is in this block. And then I calculate the distance from one block to the other. And I tell Mike, hey, Mike, Jennifer is 25 miles from you. And so you know that you're nearby enough that you can meet anytime you want. So we use approximate geolocation, and we show you the distance without telling you the direction. So you could be anywhere in 260 degrees.
Okay. So, all right. So you're live. When we first met, you weren't live, actually. You were just building this. You had a pitch deck. And that was quite a while ago now. That was probably coming up on a year, or maybe 10 months.
It was May. It was 1 week before Luna.
Yeah,
I remember very well.
I feel like we chatted in February or March as well. Okay, so since then you have bootstrapped this, and you are live in the iOS store and the Android store, both with very, very high ratings and reviews, by the way. So let's talk about the launch, since you didn't give it away for free.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting, because a lot of people give things away for free, right? You race to get users and you figure it out later. Matteo has the opposite approach. Okay. We're trying to go for high signal here, and we're keeping it out. So, all right. How has it been so far, the traction?
It's better than I could ever imagine, honestly. So we have, as of today, current numbers, we have 4,300 users, almost 2,000 members. And the difference between users and members are users, they sign up, but they haven't got a membership yet. Members, they got a membership, and so they have access to the app. And so we have incredible traction. I don't know if you want to show the chart. So we launched on iOS only in November, and then on January 21st, which is a month ago, we launched on Android, and we literally have an increase, we literally have a wall of users that come in since Android. Obviously, Android has a lot of, that's another chart, I think. That's the message. That's the daily message. Android has a lot of penetration in the market globally, which I didn't know before I launched this app because I only had iPhones. But globally, Android is 72% of the market share. So a lot of users have Android. Also, Bitcoiners, they tend to prefer Android, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. So yeah, we have almost 2,000 users in 100 days, paying users. We have more revenue than, in 3 months we have a lot of revenue, comparatively speaking. I don't know if you want me to go to the numbers. And yeah, the reason why we have such a high reviews is because of the paywall. So because the paywall, Mike, creates a place where you're only going to meet nice people, and you're only going to meet people that are willing to Bitcoin. And so that's the chart. Yeah. So you can see the Android ramp up at the end of January. Yeah. So back to the reviews. Yeah, we have more than 100 5-star reviews in 100 days. Actually, we were tracking more than one 5-star review per day since launch, which I think is quite incredible considering that everybody has to pay. But the paywall creates a place that is elevated. Everybody's nice. Everybody's there to make connections. Nobody's ignoring anybody. There is no how your trade is going, buy my NFT, that kind of stuff. And so that's why we have such a high ratings. So that's one benefit, another benefit of the paywall.
So let me ask you about churn. Very impressive, but how do you manage churn? Are you just managing it?
Right.
Are you just looking at the monthly as far as the churn? Because I know I'm a lifetime member, right? I like a good deal. So I locked in that
Can't
price.
cancel.
I locked in that price early, okay? And I'm very excited about what's coming in the ways of using this for events and for meetups and for commerce and for other things. And we're going to get into that in just a second.
A lot of stuff.
But this is a beautiful looking chart going in the other direction, and it's churn. You want to touch on this real quick?
Yeah. The churn is basically, I mean, as you all know, like people that cancel the membership, and it's very low. It's very, very low, especially considering that you have to pay to get in. That means this is not just people that make an account for free and then they keep the account for free, which is one thing. These are people that make an account, they pay for the account, and then they keep paying for the account. So it's a more powerful signal than just having a free account and never canceling and never deleting the account, right? Yeah, so the churn is going down simply because the network is growing. So we're growing about 16 users each day. They join the app. Yesterday, because of Michael Saylor, I think we got almost 40 users in one day, which was great. And also we're adding features all the time. So my philosophy was we're going to build in public. We're going to launch MVP that works. And then we're going to add features and add features and add features. And pretty much every week we release new stuff. Now we just release no-store verification for all of our users, which they love. Search engine has been improved. Now you can search anything, Mike. You can search Miami and you show up, for example. You can search investor and you show up. You can search beautiful man and you show up.
Funny guy.
You can search. Yeah, you can do a lot of search, which gives more angles to people. So, for example, if you search nuclear, there's a guy in the app. There's a nuclear physicist. By the way, speaking of iSignal, that guy cracked the wallet that we were doing a giveaway with only 10 words, for the record. That's the kind of people that you'll find in the app. And so we're going to add features, a lot of features. Obviously, the next one that is the most exciting one is the events. I'll just give you a little preview before the call. And the events is going to be, so basically, we're going to take meetup.com. We're going to make it better than what they do, and we're going to tailor to Bitcoiners. And also because we have geolocation in the app, once you create an event, you can easily invite your people in their nearby events, which obviously you can't do anywhere else. So the events feature, it's going to bring a lot of users. Then we're going to have a referral program that's going to bring even more users. And the last piece will be the marketplace coming Q3, I would say, where you can sell stuff online, in the app, get paid in sats through the app.
Okay. So as far as the events go, okay.
Right.
anyone's going to be able to create an event. Like if
Yes.
you're hosting your weekly or monthly meetup anywhere, that's going to be on there. To what, like maybe ticketed events too?
Yeah, correct. So the events, they're going to be four kind of events, Mike. Free events, paid events, public events, and private events. So let's say I just met you in the app. We've been chatting. You're an investor, and we want to have a dinner, just you and I, to talk about business. I will be able to create an event, put the address of the restaurant, and then you can just join the event, but it's private. So it's only between you and me. Like, it's only invite only. That's something I don't think you can do on meetup.com, by the way. Then you're going to have public event where everybody can browse and join. And then you're going to have paid event where you can say, look, I'm this meetup or this workshop. So for example, PTC Session, which is one of our advisors, he does workshop. I think every conference he goes, he has an extra day and you can go to a workshop and he sells tickets. You'll be able to do that in the app. You can say, okay, this event is going to cost 100,000 to attend. And then I found the event. I want to attend the event. I paid 100,000 sats invoice. And then I can show up at the events all through the app, all in one place. I can chat with the organizer. I can even chat with other attendees before, during, and after the event, which is something also very cool, especially for conference, right? You know, you go to a conference, you meet somebody, you made the connection on Orangeville app, and then that connection stay with you no matter where you go. So the events is going to be, it's going to be a huge feature and also huge revenue for us.
So here's a look at the roadmap. Merchants. Okay, so that's what I'm a dentist somewhere and I want to advertise in the app or list my business. How does that work?
So yeah, correct. So at some point this year, you're going to be able to create a business account. So let's say you're a dentist. You can create a business account. Obviously, you pay a little bit more than a regular account, probably double. And then you can list your services, or you can just make an account that says, I'm a dentist, this is my address, this is my picture, this is my bio, etc. And then the user can go and search in the search engine. We have three verticals. One is people, another one is event, and another one will be merchant. So if I want to find a dentist in Miami, and you have made an account saying that you're a dentist in Miami, you're gonna show up. And obviously you can pay in SaaS, right? So the idea is that if you're a dentist and you're a Bitcoin maxi, you're not gonna advertise that on your website because 99% of your customers are not being Bitcoin. So it doesn't make sense for you to say, I'm a Bitcoin maxi, you can come to me and you can pay in SaaS, right? But it makes sense to do it in Orangeville app because everybody's a Bitcoin maxi. And so it's a way for the dentist to acquire more users. They're in the same ethos, right? They're in the same ecosystem. And it could be dentist, it could be gardener, it could be lawyer, it could be accountants, it could be anything.
So, okay. So here's the roadmap. There's a ton of stuff on here and a long road ahead, right? Okay. So the events, a commission sales. I'm looking to do an event myself, actually, in May. And, ticket sales is a real problem. That's for sure. A turnkey, easy thing. And I hope to list our event in this app as soon as it's live and get you some real feedback on that. Okay, so networking, of course. I mean, this is huge. The one word that's missing from this roadmap, it really bothers me, is the word dating. It's a tough line to cross because once you're a dating app, you're a dating app. But look, it's the elephant in the room here. I mean, people need to meet. Okay.
Yes. We have you probably remember our first call. The original idea was actually a dating app for Bitcoiners until I realized, obviously, that women in Bitcoin are more finite than Bitcoin itself. And also the mission would be much smaller if we were just a dating app, right? But yeah, there is a dating section of it. There's a dating aspect of the app. And in fact, if you go on your edit profile, Mike, you can say what year you were born, so you have an age, and if you're and what gender you are. There's only two genders, by the way. And then I could search a woman or a man, an age, and that's the dating aspect, right? So the dating app, so Orange Pill app is not a dating app.com. I have that domain, but it can be used, and I know because users have told me that it's already been used for dating. So it is a dating app, but it's not just a dating app. It's way more than a dating app.
All right, so let's go over these advisors real quick because this is pretty exciting, and then we'll get into some other more exciting stuff here. Okay, so run through the advisors. We got BTC Sessions. We got
Ben. Ben. Everybody knows Ben. He has the best tutorial on everything you want to do in Bitcoin. We have Nut, which is a philosopher, writer, speaker. Every conference you go, he's probably a speaker there. We have the great Daniel Prince, which has one of my favorite podcasts, even before he became an advisor, a big Bitcoin person. And then we have Joe Hall, which is a Bitcoin journalist that works for a non-Bitcoin publication. And somehow he found out a way to get retweeted by everybody, like Michael Saylor. I don't know if you saw that. Michael Saylor, Vitalik, even Jordan Peterson tweeted at Joe Hall. I don't know how he does that. He needs to teach me that. Then we have Nico, which has the Consensus Network. And Consensus Network is a publishing house for Bitcoin-only books, translating all the languages in the world, so you have access to all these authors. And last but not least is Sean Yeager, which is not a famous Bitcoiner, but he has a lot of experience in building business and technology. He used to be a NIDIG, he knows everybody in the industry. So he's more of like a financial mentor and business / financial advisor.
Okay, cool. So real quick on your background and the team. So Matteo actually has a successful exit already.
Yes.
This is not his first startup. And we're going to talk about how Orange Pill is actually profitable. What a concept.
Correct.
Boy, I should have said that right at the start of this damn thing.
Spoiler alert.
It's a profitable company that's been bootstrapped and is a perfect example of something real that it can be built for nothing. And look what he has. He has incredible traction in 100 and some days with cash flow, and he's cruising. All right, so Matteo, give us a little background on yourself.
Sure. So I'm obviously Italian, as you can guess from my accent. I was born there.
I didn't hear it. No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I know. It's tricky to spot. But in any case, I study economics. Then I moved to London when I was really young. Wanted to be a musician. Actually, I had my first business at 19. That then I sold to my partner to finance my London adventures. Then I opened another business when I was 25, which so far has been the biggest business I ever had, which was the first shipping e-commerce in my country, Italy, which is Pedire.com, which still exists, by the way, today. And I sold that in 2012. I wish somebody told me about Bitcoin then, because I could have bought a lot of Bitcoins, but I had no idea. So that was a huge business that it became so big that then a multi-billion-dollar company went from being a supplier to a competitor overnight. A lot of drama. Anyway, sold that company, and then I was involved in a lot of startups. Not very successful, all of them, but I ended up working with the biggest theater agency in Broadway, the Schubert company, which I sold the technology to them. And then I took a break from business for 5 years. I did some sales job. I learned about selling, which was very fun to me. And then that's how we end up in 2022 when I got the idea for Orange Pill app, which is what had been occupying me since April of last year until today, day and night, except yesterday.
All right, awesome. So this is not your guys' first time working together, which, by the way, is something that you really look at when you're evaluating an early stage investment opportunity. You want to see people who have worked together previously. That is very important. So just real quick now, there's two Matteos on your team. I got to tell you, I don't know if I've ever met a Matteo in my life. And the fact that there are two on your team is cool. But a lot of the people here, Federico, they have some history of all of you guys or some of you guys working together in other capacities. Do you want to touch on that real quick?
Sure. So I've been hiring developers since I was 23 years old. Now I'm 39, so you do the math. I've been hiring a lot of developers, and most of them I had to fire. Some of them I had to sue. Finding good developers is extremely, extremely hard. And at some point, my joke is that I found all the bad developers so that I could only find the good ones. So I found Matteo and Federico, which also are from Florence, which is where I'm from, which is funny because I've hired developers from all around the world. And the best one I found were from my hometown, pretty much. And I always told them, guys, you should move to Silicon Valley and make $1 million a year because you're that good. But, thankfully for me, they never did that. So I worked with them for a decade now. So we did the technology that I sold to Schubert in 2015. I built it with them. And they've done, there are a lot of confidential stuff that I cannot reveal, but they've built some of the biggest apps, some of the biggest B2B app in the world. So yeah, they're very talented, and I'm very fortunate. I mean, this Orange Pill would not exist without them. Let's just be honest. And so yeah, very talented developers. I mean, I consider them friends. I've known them for 10 years. Every time I go back to Italy, I meet them, whether we do business or not. And so yeah, they're the reason why Orange Pill app, if you download it and if you play with it, is so well done, is mostly because of them.
Awesome. So we got a good team here, and I got most out of that I wanted to, but the team has worked together. And if you want to read the whole thing, you should hop into our Lightning Ventures investing group, and you can invest in companies like this yourself. Okay, so what are we going to talk about now? How about the upcoming conferences? I know you can't really, it hasn't been released yet, but where do you market this? How do you get this in front of everyone? And it's at conferences, which is where we met, Pacific Bitcoin, like you said earlier.
Yeah. So obviously conference are the natural place for us to market, because people that go to conference, as everybody knows, they don't go to conference to listen to Michael Saylor, which is free on YouTube, and you're not going to meet him at the conference. They really go to conference to meet other Bitcoiners. And they paid $500 plus hotel, plus flight, let's call it $1,000 to meet 10, 15 Bitcoiners, right? So Orange Pill app, you can do that with $3 a month, and you can meet 1,000 people, and you can do from the couch of your house, and then you can meet them in real life. And also when you travel, you can meet them. Actually, in fact, I hope the conference organizers are not going to be upset with me, but I know there are some people that are going to, for example, Miami, and they didn't buy the ticket because they have the app. They're going to use the app to talk with people that are going to be in Miami, right? So there's a little bit of disruption there. So we're going to announce very, very soon that we have partnered with at least one, but it's probably going to be more than one, Mike. In fact, last week I put together a conference partnership program because I have so many conferences that want to use the app. I said, you know what, I can't talk to each of you. So I made a PDF where I explain all the benefits of using Orange Pill app as an official app of the conference. And so, yeah, this year, at least one conference will be, so we will be the official app of probably the second biggest conference on earth for Bitcoiners.
Awesome. Okay. We have matching, chatting, okay, dating, friends, networking, Okay. Searching by location, profession, age, gender. Okay. We have events,
interest. And now we
meetups,
have
interest.
interest as well.
Okay. Now, the
Yep.
real question is, will there be a native, either custodial or non-custodial, Bitcoin wallet inside of the Orange Pill app? Is that something that is on your roadmap?
So yes, we have to, because we're going to allow user to sell stuff in the app, whether it's tickets or services or products in the marketplace. So yes, there's going to be a wallet. There is obviously going to be non-custodial. We'll talk into a couple of partners right now to explore to see which one is the best. But yeah, there's going to be a wallet, and you're going to be able to sell whatever you want, pretty much, from tickets to services to you want to sell your shoes or your time. If you want to, if you're a consultant, if you're a lawyer, you're whatever, an accountant, right? You can say, book me for 1 hour on Orange Pill app, and we'll run through your business. I'll give you my advice as an accountant. Yeah, so there's going to be a native non-custodial, has to be non-custodial because we don't want to do KYC wallet.
Okay, well, I can think of a few great partners for you, or
Yes.
one in particular. Okay, so to recap, okay, in just 3 months, okay, the Orange Pill app has real revenue. Okay, they've got about 1,500, give or take, probably more now, actual paying users. And by the way, when I first opened the app here in Miami, there was somebody 5 miles away. There were people here already. The Orange Pill app has somewhat infiltrated Miami, and that is cool. I can't wait for the events to get started. That is really going to take this thing to the next level.
Yeah. So yeah, revenue. It's so again, we have almost 2,000 users now. Revenue. I don't know if you want to share. Happy to share. It's 26,000. We actually now I did the conversion in Bitcoin. Let's see. We have generated 1 Bitcoin and 1.13 Bitcoin already in 3 months. In revenue.
So that's real. That is definitely real.
It's real Bitcoin, real dollars that we convert in Bitcoin as soon as we get the dollars, unless we need it for the expense. Yeah, and we're profitable. We are profitable pretty much from first month.
Okay, cool. Well, we have a couple of conferences coming up that I hope that you are the official app for, right?
Yes.
We really are really hoping for that. So, okay, I guess that about does it. I just want to say that the reason we're doing this interview is because we have an investing syndicate where people can participate alongside all the fancy VCs out there for small checks and get started with investing in early stage technology companies. In this case, the best early stage technology Bitcoin companies, because that's all we do here. So we had some questions. We wanted to hang with Matteo. We have a number of opportunities that you can learn about or help and be impactful, contribute to companies. It's great for hiring and for working. And we're really trying to go to bat to help good people like Matteo that are making awesome things. So, all right, man. Well, listen, do you have anything else that you want to say? Anything exciting?
Well, everything. So I would say if you're listening to this and you haven't downloaded the app and make an account yet, I would strongly recommend you do that, because the best way to understand what we're doing is make an account, pay $2 a month, meet some plebs, have fun, see how the app is working, and see all the features that we're building. And that's the best thing to do. Other than that, I think we cover pretty much a lot of stuff.
All right, cool. We tried not to cover too much stuff, but in a very short period of time, he's built a real thing here that is generating positive cash flow, although they're not getting paid that much yet. And it's really remarkable to see what can be done with so little in such a short amount of time. So I can't wait to follow the project. I would love, we should like really do this again because there's so much other shit. There's app store fees and other stuff. I mean, we could talk about why you don't want desktop. There's so many other profile enhancements. I'm a pain in the ass, right? As soon as I start using it, I'm texting Matteo like, why can't I link to this? Why isn't there more than one picture? Why isn't this? And he's like, chill, Muzz. Like, well, we'll get to it. But we could talk about a bunch of stuff. So look, we'll have to do this again. So it's LTNG.Ventures. That's our website. And it is theorangepillapp.com and all that good stuff. So, all right, man. Well, thanks for hanging.
Thanks, Mike. It was a pleasure.
All right, buddy.